to the William Mattar Thursday Night Lights, live on My TV Buffalo, presented by Stellar Roofing.
And coming to you live from Starpoint High School, it is Tudor Stadium, the location for tonight's matchup in the Section 6 Class B1 showdown between the West Seneca East Trojans and the Starpoint Spartans right here on My TV Buffalo. A big matchup at hand to start off the regular season, and we welcome you inside the broadcast booth along with my partner, the coach, Scott Pilkey. I'm Joe Kraus, and Scott, what a matchup on hand. Both teams borrowing their mascots from the ancient times, but here in 2025, we got a good one on hand once again.
Both great coaches, great physical teams. It's going to be a tremendous matchup tonight.
Both teams looking to get back into the Section 6 postseason as we take a look at the returning player for West Seneca East, the quarterback, DJ Banker, the senior.
He is a prototypical quarterback in this single-wing offense for Coach, carrying on the great traditions of like Andy Smigera of the past. His goal is 1,000 yards passing and 1,000 yards rushing this year.
And for the home squad, the Starpoint Spartans, number 0, Victor Collins, a big player defensively last year, looking to step up once again.
As you can obviously see on the screen, Victor is a big, powerful young man, and he's going to be the key guy that they have to block today in order to ensure their running game in the single wing.
And so let's now take a look at the keys to the game presented by Stellar Roofing, the best at what we do. And Scott, it's week 1, but both coaches are thinking pretty hard about this one.
Yeah, Coach Marino for West Seneca East is going to learn on the fly with his people, find out who he has. But the key for him is to set the tempo, high-end energy early. On the other side of the ball, it's letting those young guys settle in, getting used to their kind of a game, and limit the big plays.
And so when we come back, it is the Trojans and the Spartans right here in Lockport, New York. We'll be right back with more of the Law Office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights presented by Stellar Roofing.
Officials for tonight. Referee, Mr. Corey Brockman. Umpire, Mr. Jeffrey Murphy. Head linesman, Mr. Eric Mazgadzinski. Line judge, Mr. Tim Everett. And your back judge, Mr. Michael Chattel. Thank you and enjoy the game.
And welcome back to Starpoint High School, Tudor Stadium. Joe Kraus, Scott Pilkey, and the gang with you, the Law Office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights presented by Stellar Roofing. As we take a look at the head coaches for this matchup, Scott, it is Jim Marino leading the Trojans in his 22nd season, a veteran coach on that sideline.
Just one of the top guys you'll ever meet in Western New York. He's had some of the top players. Talk about the Dolaks, the Smigeras, a history here at West Seneca East, and he's the guy that's going to continue their future.
And for the Starpoint Spartans, a familiar face now taking the lead. It is Jay Bauman. Spent the past 3 years as the Spartans offensive coordinator, but now in the driver's seat, and you have that connection as well.
You know, Coach Bauman and I go back to the University of Buffalo days. He knows what it is to build a program, and more than that, he is a great positive influence on these young men.
As we now take a look at the coin toss, or we'll take a listen at our coin toss here tonight.
Get them calmed down. Get them off the field. Last thing we want to do is start throwing flags for somebody getting a little crazy, all right? Williamsville or West Seneca East calling the toss. That's a head, that's a tail. Head, tail. What's your call? Tails. Tails is called. It is a tail. West Seneca won the toss. Defer. West Seneca won the toss, elected to defer. You're going to take the ball, Victor, right? Yep. What goal you want to defend? Okay, turn your back to the goal you're going to defend, guys. West Seneca won the toss. West Seneca won the toss and be kicking towards the scoreboard. Come on in, shake hands, introduce yourselves, guys.
DJ, good luck. DJ.
Have a great game. Have a good, safe season.
So there was the coin toss. Our officiating crew tonight, the referee, Corey Brockman, umpire Jeff Murphy, the linesman is Eric Mazajewski, the line judge is Tim Everett, and the back judge is Mr. Mike Chattel. Scott, we have a great crowd on hand. It's starting to pile in here at Starpoint High School. Just your last couple moments, the atmosphere, what it's like week one of the regular season.
Well, it's interesting to see what the philosophies of the coaches are going to be able to do here. You've got a West Coast style offense that you're going to see here in Starpoint, and they're a RPO run offense. And now you're going to start to see whether these guys are as physical and ready as their coaches say they are.
West Seneca East elected to kick to start tonight's contest. Starpoint is back to receive. As on the kicking duties for the Trojans, it is the junior Joey Molnar. Two men are back to return for the Starpoint Spartans. Two of the oldest programs in Section 6, the Starpoint Spartans first began playing in 1957. West Seneca East first took the field in 1969.
Got the band feel in the background here. The stands are filled up on this side of the Starpoint. Getting ready to get this thing off.
Both teams coming off of 4-win campaigns as Joey Molnar ready to kick off for the visiting Trojans. The kick is up and we're underway here in Lockport, New York. Here is the return for the Spartans. Man up to the 30, breaking out to the 35-yard line. And that is where Starpoint's going to start their night on offense.
Tremendous setup on the right return. Really great job by the secondary line, staying on their blocks. Good job reading the front and getting up and making a great game to start this game off.
Good return from Frank Butina to get his quarterback David Chase up and going back, ready to take another step at the quarterback spot.
Look, you know, he's a highly efficient guy that they want to see more out of this year. Threw for 412 yards last year. Let's see what he's doing tonight.
Call it 1st and 10 at the 35. Chase takes the snap, drops back to pass. He fires over the middle. The pass, it is incomplete. Just out of the reach of his receiver, Kyle Coons, down the middle of the field.
Nice job by the offensive line, giving him a little bit of time. West Seneca East lined up in a 4-4 cover 3, and they hit the seam. Nice job.
And let's take a look at the starting offense for the Starpoint Spartans, brought to you by the law office of William Mattar's hurt in a car called William Mattar. A lot of veterans back for the Spartans team.
You see David Chase there. You got Victor Collins, Keanu Lofton. They take this one up the middle here. A couple of yards gain. Nice job.
Able to make the stop was Anthony DiMartino of West Seneca East, the senior. Good carry up to the 42-yard line. Going to be 3rd and 4 coming up. David Chase with both backers behind him. Chase rolls out to his left. Chase on the run, turns in. He does not make the catch, was the receiver. It'll bring up 4th down.
Two really good pass concepts. If we just catch the ball, we're down here in scoring range already.
And a great start for West Seneca East as we take a look at the starting defense, brought to you by the law office of William Mattar. Hurt in a car, call William Mattar. DiMartino, the early stop. Kevin Sadowski, Josh Urban, the team's leading tackler, back here once again.
Yeah, they're doing a nice job already up front, playing good gap defense and not letting anything get behind them.
Starpoint with the punt. Takes a couple bounces just outside the 30-yard line and stops. And now West Seneca East and its offense takes the field for the first time tonight. DJ Banker and the offense, head coach Jim Marino, really impressed with how well his communication has gone from year to year. As you take a look, over 1,000 passing yards alone last year.
Yeah, and his goal is that 1,000 and 1,000 just to keep it balanced. And this is the guy to do it. I'm looking forward to seeing what they put out here tonight. Coming out in that single wing, which they're known for.
Quick handoff up the middle. Trojans making their way just past the 40-yard line. Looked like Kevin Sadowski on the carry to start this drive here for West Seneca East. And let's take a look at that Trojans offense with Sadowski and the rest of his teammates, brought to you by Law Office of William Mattar. Hurt in a car, call William Mattar. A lot of veterans, especially on the offensive line.
Good-sized guys. They've been coming off the ball together in this system for a couple of years now, and you could see the push that they had on that very first run.
Banker gets the snap. Quick handoff up the middle. This will be Kyler Montero on the carry. Gets to the 45-yard line, brought down by a pair of Starpoint defenders. And the Starpoint defense bringing back some leadership. We talked about Victor Collins and Frankie Butina back in the secondary too.
Yeah, those are two key guys that have to have their eyes not get lost in the backfield, watch their gap, come up and fill their gap. They don't have to be heroes. They just have to do their job tonight.
Again, the Starpoint starting defense brought to you by the law office of William Mattar. Victor Collins looking to get the Trojans off the field rather quickly. First and 10 at the Trojans' 45-yard line. Quick direct snap to Sadowski. Goes to his right, gets past midfield, still moving. The right side of the offensive line, keeping the chains going. And the Trojans are over midfield to start.
Well, they got a great isolation play there. The fullback came up inside, little run to the right, isolation on our number 0 over there, and they got a nice 8-yard gain on that play.
Ball now spotted at the Starpoint 47-yard line. Second and 2. Sadowski on the right hip of Banker is a quick end around to Isaac Irizarry, the split receiver, getting the carry this time. Gets close to the Starpoint 40-yard line. Another good chunk, Scott, for the Trojans.
Well, the consistency is the push. They can do whatever they want to in the back, with the misdirection. But I'm going to tell you, when you see the push right now, the dominance up front by the offensive line at West Seneca East, when they're getting up to the second level, like you're seeing number 54 finish the job there, that's a tremendous, tremendous job this early in the evening.
Brady Murray, Tyler Ursing on the right side of the offensive line, giving another first down, another counter play. Montero on the carry, gets a few yards and then stopped about the 37-yard line.
They've got a lot of weapons, as they're showing already. Everybody that they said they were going to hand the ball off to has already seen it in his first drive.
Starpoint looking to make a couple of quick substitutions. This will bring up 2nd and 7. Banker in the shotgun, low snap. He'll take it himself this time. Looks to his left, crosses the 35, and then brought down by a pair of Spartans. Little extracurriculars as well. A couple flags on the play, too.
This is one of the keys to that single wing. The single wing is a very disciplined play. If you're watching how everybody's getting up to the second level, the running back does a nice job with what we call slow two, fast through. He lets the run block evolve in front of him, and then he makes that last-minute cut. Nice work.
So while we're waiting to see what the call is, we mentioned, Scott, about how Starpoint and West Seneca East did last year. The Spartans went 4-5, had a 4-1 start, then lost 4 straight, including a sectional quarterfinal loss to Clarence. West Seneca East 4-6, only 2 wins 2 years ago. But both teams early on trying to establish and get some momentum early.
It's like you were talking to Coach Bauman earlier in the week. Last year they started off strong. The numbers, on each one of these teams, they're limited guys, smaller schools. So if a couple of the big injuries, that takes away from your momentum, which it did for the Spartans last year.
So after the penalty, they'll bring up 3rd and 3 on the Starpoint 34-yard line. Direct step, loose ball. Sadowski has to cover quickly. There's the first big play the Starpoint defense wanted here. We'll give credit to Brady Crispin leading the charge.
And they made a nice adjustment. They brought some heat in the A gap, which I think was the cause of the snap. Nope, actually the center pulled, so the center has to get that snap back. But that's probably the only reason why the snap went back a little bit with a wobble on it.
About a 6-yard loss after the brief fumble from the Trojans. Just over 7 minutes left in the first quarter. So we'll bring up 4th and 9. Trojans offense remaining on the field. This is Banker. Moves to his left. Eyes down the field. Banker tries to get the outside. Now throwing on the run and making the catch. And going into the end zone for the touchdown, Joey Molnar with the big ECMC touchdown. Go where the Bills go, and the Trojans strike first.
Well, they're showing you that they can run the football if they don't make mistakes, and they just spread it out to a 2-by-2 and were able to go deep downfield. If this is the indicator of what they're going to be like this season, this is going to be a very tough team going forward.
Joey Molnar only had 1 catch for 6 yards against Depew last season.
Flag.
And there are flags on the field, so this could possibly come back. But what a throw from DJ to start.
And what you got to love about him is that he didn't just sit in the pocket. He didn't throw the ball away. He could have run it because he's got legs. He waited. He was mature, and he made that throw happen.
Ineligible field downfield offense. Replay 4th down.
So after the penalty, it'll now bring up 4th and 14 for the Trojans. And instead of a big touchdown play, the punt unit is out at the moment for the Trojans.
And what Coach Marino said was a big thing at the beginning was learning on the fly. They have to learn right now that when they're mistake-free football, they're going to be a dominant team. They got to have a little bit more discipline, but they started out first drive. It was great except for the mental mistakes.
DJ Banker back to punt for the Trojans. Punt is high, tracked down by Starpoint. Looking to get past the 20-yard line. And about the 21-22 is where Starpoint's going to start their second drive.
Good coverage so far, and going back to Coach Bauman, when I asked him about his style of defense, he said there are multiple fronts usually with high blitz. In that first series, you didn't see anything but gap control and trying to keep everything in front of you so they could close the gaps and eliminate, like they said, the big play earlier. So you're seeing both coaches do exactly what they said were their keys in the very beginning of the game.
6:56 remaining in the first quarter. Chase, shotgun snap, a quick handoff up the middle for the Spartans. And a few yards And then being stopped right away. Good stop by DiMartino of the Trojans. Starpoint once again going on the ground to start this drive, about a 3-yard pickup.
Yeah, and DiMartino's got one of those classic, 4-year college bodies, 6'4", 240 pounds. You're going to hear his name a lot tonight.
Empty backfield for the Spartans. Chase, one grabs snag, then throws out to outside to Brady Crispin, who gets dropped down just shy of the 35-yard line. About a 3-4 yard gain to keep the chains moving. And it's going to be enough for a first down, brought to you by Interstate Batteries. Outrageously dependable.
Now, what's the difference from that very first series to now? Settles in, throws the ball, perfect timing, and that's as good as that play gets. Take what they're giving you, and that's what they did in that cover 3 shell. Nice job.
Chase in the shotgun, now a motion man. Chase takes a snap. Moves to his right, on the run, he's pressured, throws it away. Incomplete, great pressure from Kevin Sadowski on the D-line.
Well, what you're seeing with Coach Marino, they motioned away, and as soon as they motioned away, it's probably something that when the guy motions away from the boundary side, they brought a boundary side blitz from the corner, and the outside backer brought great pressure that caught up to him even on a rollout. Really nice pressure from the backside by West Seneca East.
Second and 10 coming up for the Spartans on their own 34-yard line. Motion man going left to right. Here's a snap, a quick handoff up the middle. Starpoint trying to get every yard that they can. And a carry that time coming from Frank Butita for a couple of yards. They'll bring up third down.
You can every time you see a defense, they're always going to have that blitz of the day. Right now, you're seeing it. It's from the boundary side. It's coming from the outside C gap and inside A gap or B gap. And the good part is they're not over pursuing. They broke down, had a pretty nice tackle there.
3rd and 6 coming up for the Spartans on their own 38-yard line. Both programs familiar with each other after previously facing one another in Section 6 Class A about a decade ago. West Seneca East coach Jim Marino said that Class B1 is the new old Class A. Here's the throw. Crispin just in and out of the hands, and great coverage on the near sideline from the freshman corner, Eric Johnson.
Yeah, it was a nice attempt to come back for the football, but what we're seeing right now with Starpoint is they got a lot of guys open, but even if it touches you, you got to catch the football, even at the high school level. He's got great pass protection, nice job up front, the running back filling in there, number 5, and the young man had to come, hey, it's a physical game. Everybody's learning on the fly, like we said, and it was a good defensive play, a little bit maybe too aggressive, but even the refs are learning that might have been a time for a flag coming back, but who knows? We'll see later. Oh, boy.
High snap on the point. Starpoint able to track it down, and they do. Sadowski with the touch. A high snap, and tracking it down was Jake Steiner for Starpoint, but not a good play from Starpoint.
Well, these are the ones that kill you. You got good momentum going in, but it's a little hiccups. We're seeing them in the first 2-3 drives. It's settling in, and that's what he's going to have to do here. Hopefully they have a nice stand and can get out of here with at least a field goal. We talk about both of these teams have decent special teams, but I think right now, hopefully Starpoint can buckle in and keep them out of the end zone. But I don't know, because this team's running it pretty well on the West Seneca East side of the ball.
It'll be 1st and goal at the 6. Trojans go to the ground this time. Start this red zone drive. Couple of yards on the carry from Sadowski. Just over 4 minutes left in the first quarter.
Again, we knew it was going to be kind of a fast moving, especially if the teams that in the single wing, if they can run that ball down the field, 10, 11, 12 play drives, going to eat the clock up.
Baker takes it himself, tries to find the open space, but it's closed down quickly by a host of Spartans, Butita, Chrisman, and a pair of other defenders. Dylan Diapol as well on the stop.
Coach Bauman said that in order for them to be successful against this, they got to have hats on the ball and limit the quarterback. This is exactly what you see here. It's a nice pull. It's a little read option. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys around the football out of your 11. That's called hats on football right there, folks.
This will now bring up 3rd and goal at the Starpoint 5-yard line.
Great stand so far. Love it.
The returnees, the Trojans had 13 rushing scores a year ago. They'll go to the air. Baker's quick pass. And it is complete, but just shy of the goal line, Scott.
You know, I mean, right here, this is, you have one of them go over your head. You can't ask your defense to respond any better than it is. Look at this. They're staying tough, and the young man put his heels on the goal line. He knew where the guy couldn't go. That's a really heady and aware play by that young man right there.
Chase Hall with the nice reception. The junior, 6'1", 165-pounder. This will now set up 4th and goal at the 1-yard line. But first, a timeout on the field with just over 2 minutes left in the first quarter. We'll step aside and come back with more action on the Law Office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing. Tonight's closed captioning is exclusively brought to you by Buffalo Fresh Roof. Westside East knocking on the door late in the first quarter. It's going to be 4th and less than a yard, right on the goal line, a full house in front. And also in the stands here at Starpoint High School. Sadowski, the motion man. Quick handoff up the middle. Instead, Starpoint is confusing it. It's going to be a touchdown on the ground for the Trojans. Right up the middle for Kyler Montero, the fullback.
Very nice job there. Good push, and the young man didn't stop his feet from running. That was second effort that got him into the end zone there.
Kyler Montero had only 2 carries for 9 yards a year ago. No touchdowns. He records his first one of the season for his Trojan squad. It's getting ready for the extra point attempt is Joey Molnar. Extra point on the way is up and good. So West Seneca East strikes first on the ground. We have 2:22 left in the first quarter. We'll step aside for another short break and come right back. It is the Law Office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing.
If they had replay, his knee was down.
Could you slide over us?
Huh?
Would you mind sliding over us?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Oh, no problem at all. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. All right, you move me where you need me.
Okay.
No problem. I didn't get the body language when you had to look over. I want.
And welcome back to Thursday Night Lights. Big thanks to One-Eye Jack's Smokehouse Grill, located on South Transit Road in Lockport, New York. One-Eye Jack's Smokehouse Grill. Be sure to stop by and get a good meal if you're hungry.
They took care of us before the game, that's for sure.
Kyler Montero and the Westside East Trojans taking care of business early. A 1-yard score up the middle. A great drive for the Trojans, eating up the clock. As we're down to 2:22 left in quarter number 1. Bowler with a short kick, tracked down by Andrew Genev of Starpoint. And the Spartans a little bit better for field to start this drive just past the 40.
Yeah, now now they got to get right back into what they were doing. Don't change your game plan. Just hope for a couple less mistakes. Holding on to the football and keep moving it down the field. They get right back into this here.
1st and 10 coming up at the 43-yard line. David Chase and the offense. David made a couple of starts at the midway point of last year as a sophomore. And a full offseason under his belt. Older brother Aaron joins the coaching staff as the QB coach. This time David goes up to the air. The pass is incomplete. Looking for Butita on the near sideline, and Eric Johnson on the defensive coverage. And Scott, I guess from your position, seeing older brothers and younger brothers working together, what's that like potentially to bring an older sibling in?
Well, I think just the mentality, the mindset of maturity is something that he can echo what his brother's already been through. He's got I'll tell you what, the kid's got a nice pocket presence. He's getting the ball out quick. The offensive line's giving him enough time. It's just about the ball being, caught or being in the right spot. But they're showing good stuff at the very beginning here.
2nd and 10 coming up at the Spartans' 43-yard line. One man in the backfield right next to Chase. He takes the snap. Chase looks downfield. A low pass looking for Victor Collins on the play. Pressure up the middle again by the Trojans.
Nice little change up. They were bringing the blitz from the boundary. This was a one-man blitz. Mike came in through the front side, A-gap, and put... This was the first time number 0 came through there. They did not keep the back in, which they've been doing successfully. Hey, he's out. It would have been a nice pass, but the rush was too much to screw up the timing between the running back and the quarterback.
Well, that was what Jim Marino told us earlier in the week about the defense. We want to pressure early on, get into more man-to-man coverage, as Anthony DiMartino has been a big catalyst so far in tonight's contest. And once again, Starpoint, its third offensive drive, now facing 3rd and long. David Chase in the shotgun again. And before it, the snap, we have some whistles. Delay of game called against Starpoint.
What Coach Marino has been able to do is to learn on the fly. What we are seeing the Spartans have trouble doing is settling in, and hopefully they can come back here 3rd and 15, get at least half of it back so they can continue this drive.
3rd and 15 for the Spartans. Chase takes the snap, looks downfield, a wobbly pass, good dive, but it bounces. And waiting for the call. It's going to be an interception for West Seneca East. Give credit to Anthony DiMartino somehow getting the pick here for the Trojans.
See, that's a great job by that young man. He's on the line, but the feet don't stop. Watch this. That's a 6'4", 240-pound guy getting back, being athletic enough. Well, you know what? We don't have instant replay. It's going down in the books as an interception. It was great hustle by number 66.
West Seneca East takes over after the stop. DiMartino, just 19 tackles a year ago for the Trojans, gets the interception. DJ Banker, the offense, goes back to work. On the near sideline, just out of the reach, incomplete, looking for Connor Hall. Connor is the younger brother of Chase Hall. Incomplete pass, 2nd down coming up. West Seneca East, the offense looking to regenerate itself again this season. They graduated 4 of their top 5 receivers from a year ago, including Cole Arnault, who was out at the top of the record book for a few offensive records in receiving. Now to the ground game with the veteran Sadowski on second down. Sadowski down the sideline to the Starpoint 30 and knocked out of bounds just shy of the 20-yard line, but we do have a flag on the field.
Holding.
So the big run from Sadowski's side is going to come back.
There's some nice balance that they're doing between their offense, spreading it out, getting them open up a little bit from the run game. Good call so far.
Personal foul. Offense number 3. Blindside block. 15-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
So after the penalty, this will move back the Trojans with 1:50 left to go in this first quarter.
And that's been the tale of the first quarter so far. A lot of good movement, a lot of great showing from both sides, but just big mistakes. Eliminating big gains or a snap over the head. You know, this is why it's amazing that it's only 7-0 right now.
Kevin Sadowski, known as one of the bruisers in the backfield for the Trojans. He and Josh Urban. They have also the dynamic play from Keywan Williams and Eric Johnson, who we have not seen yet offensively. This will set up 2nd and 20 back at the Trojans 35. Banker on the run. Short pass, a little behind and out of the right hand of Sadowski. Looks like he might have slipped on the turf as well.
Both defenses are doing a nice job by getting into the quarterback, getting them moving their feet, not being able to set up and deliver the ball cleanly. On both sides of the ball, they're doing really good work with that.
First time tonight, West Seneca East is now in a 3rd and long scenario. Trips to the right of Banker. Motion man, then the snap. Banker takes it himself, finds the open space to the 45, leaps and hurdles past midfield. What a play from DJ Banker.
You know, it was a QB draw. He drops back. He sees everybody in the distance, pulls it, and comes up for a big gain. Nice job. Steps back, observes, and pulls it down. Really good work getting up to the second level by the wide receivers and the inside interior linemen.
The dual play that we have seen from DJ in the past couple years on full display once again. Setting up 4th and 6 right at midfield as we're approaching the final minute of the first quarter. Trojans with a 7-0 lead and then some movement in the trenches.
All they did there was change the cadence. They've been going on the first sound or 1. That's all he did was go on 2 on that one.
Dead ball, encroachment, defense.
So with the penalty, the encroachment against Starpoint, we take a look again at Spartans head coach Jay Bauman. Again, his first time as head coach, spent a few years coaching down in Texas and then coming back in 2008, graduate of Starpoint High School as well.
You can see he's got the same demeanor. A lot of these head coaches in Western New York, they just stay very poised. You know, these guys are well prepared. And I think, you know, only 7-0. They stop them here. They get the ball back.
On 4th and 1, a big stop in the backfield from the Starpoint Spartans. Give credit to the big man, Vin Martin, with the blow up. It's a turnover. Now Starpoint takes over.
Talking about Vin Martin before the game with Coach Bauman, he says, look, he came in as a quarterback. Now, this young man has got another year, and he's every bit of about 260 pounds. So that was very quick by that young man. Great feet. Nice job. Exactly who he needed to be at that exact moment. Nice job.
Vin Martin, one of the players that did everything he could in the offseason to help get his grades up. Coach Bauman said that these are student athletes first, and he is proud of how Vin has done. He's probably fired up about that play as well. Starpoint offense takes over up the middle, past the 45. A good run to start the drive from Victor Collins, bulldozing his way past midfield.
Well, until the pass game comes around, maybe you have to give a little bit back to West Seneca East what they've been giving you. A little hard nose, no huddle, up the middle, gut running. Let's go.
Quick handoff again to Collins. This time the Trojans were ready. And a stop as the first down was brought to you again by Interstate Batteries. Outrageously dependable.
I can tell you from experience that Coach Bauman learned that two-play call from the University of Buffalo in his time there. They used to call that fast pitch or speed ball when Andy Kotelnicki at the University of Buffalo was the coordinator. Now he's the coordinator at Penn State, and you'll still see Penn State utilize that exact same tactic. Run up, 2 plays in a row, exact same play, got the first down. Good job.
Clock is ticking down to end the first quarter of play. West Seneca East got on the scoreboard first with a 1-yard score from Kyler Montero. The Starpoint Spartans, though, on the move as we switch over to the second quarter. We'll be right back with more. This is the Law Office of William Vittar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing. Stay tuned for the UB Bulls halftime show. UB Bulls football, family, affordable, fun. We'll showcase our Athletic Associates Center Scholar Athletes presented by Dr. Todd Shatkin. Participating school administrator interviews, Thursday Night Lights, and Friday Night Rivals highlights from across the country. First half highlights from this one and more. Again, it's the UB Bulls halftime show. Start of the second quarter, Joe Kraus, Scott Pilkey, and the crew with you tonight as the Spartans go to the ground and get bottled up, but able to get 1 yard out of it.
Well, you know, Coach Marino during that break made some really nice changes already. If he sees they're going to be coming out in this, he's not bringing the outside blitz. He's just staying close and playing good gap football.
Spartans continue to go to the ground game. A couple yards, and then a big stop from Kyler Montero. Able to be the first defender for the Trojans. No gain on the run.
Kyler's having a really solid game. You know, he's playing well at the fullback spot, and he's been very tough as the Mike linebacker there. You know, we talked about zero on the other side, but West Seneca East has their own.
3rd and 7. Another ground game. Couple of yards on the carry for County Lawton. Lawton grew up in Tennessee, transferred into Starpoint at the start of last year, spent time with the JV squad here at Starpoint, now getting his first couple of reps here at the varsity level.
And he's playing solid. Both of these teams are, you know, this is a handful of mistakes right now. Everybody looks good. Not a lot of silly penalties. They're not jumping off sides. Both teams are very well coached this early in the season.
The last run from Lawton sets up 4th and 4. Spartans just outside the Trojans 30. Here's a run, a quick cut up the middle. Spartans fighting for every yard and keeping the chains moving for the Starpoint Spartans. Waiting for the call. It is indeed a first down coming up for Starpoint. This first down is brought to you by the Express Windows. Now installing windows as low as $329 within 5 to 6 weeks.
Got to give a lot of credit to the left guard and left tackle, the McManus brothers. They've been doing a really nice job getting up to the second level. They're not the biggest guys in the world, but they're playing really tough.
From the 29, Chase throws on the run. It is incomplete on the far sideline. Broken up by Eric Johnson. Once again, Brady Crispin, the intended receiver. Starpoint trying to get some chemistry going with those receivers.
Well, you know, they're establishing the run game when they come in. They're doing a nice job there. But again, the pass game has been inconsistent. The ball has been there. It's been dropped numerous times, and that's just something, you know, you can't get those plays back.
Starpoint off to its best drive offensively tonight. 2nd and 10 at the Westsec East 29. Looking to get some points for the first time in 2025 in front of their home crowd. Here's a quick handoff up the middle. A few yards, close to 25-yard line. Another good run from the Starpoint Spartans.
Spencer Argentieri did a nice job there. Got it led up. If you watch him, number 78 gets up to the next level, and number 2, and that's why it was able to break a little bit more. Good 4 or 5 yards of carry. That's perfect for what they're trying to do here with a great mixture of run and pass.
3rd and 7 at the Trojans' 26-yard line. Chase in the shotgun. 2 receivers on the left and right. Chase looks over the middle, down the near sideline. It is caught. A big-time connection, getting it to go with Brady Crispin setting them up for a big play inside the red zone.
It was really nice job by the quarterback staying in there. They had a cover 3 shell. It was a nice 10-yard route out, and the ball was right on the money the way he's been throwing it all night long. This time, the wide receiver came up with it, and they moved the ball forward. Great work there.
Brady Crispin, the senior, returning from a year ago, now 1st and goal at the Spartans' 9-yard line, where the will be red zone. Will when nobody will. And who gets the call? It will be the Starpoint Spartans, inching their way close to the red zone. It is Victor Collins on the call.
He's a tough kid to bring down. You know, when you had 3 guys on him and he just turned his back to you and keeps driving his feet, he's darn near impossible to stop. Kind of got that low center of gravity that I can relate to.
7-yard gain, 2nd and goal at the Trojans 2. Chase, the counter run up the middle to Lawton, and he is stopped by a host of Trojans. A big stop. DJ Banker, one of the first defenders to stop Keanu that time.
And Anthony DiMartino in it again. He's a name you're going to be hearing a lot of this year. Maybe like a Trench Trophy type of kid.
3rd and goal to 2. A counter run up again and crossing into the end zone for the touchdown. It is Keanu Lawton. The touchdown brought to you by Kaleida Health, the official healthcare provider of the Buffalo Bills.
Well, they're having great success with those 2-play packages. It's the same play, run it, get it, line up again, and go. That time, they got stopped the last time around, but they ran it to the left 3 times with 2 different running backs, and they were able to punch it in and get the score. Now, this is their kicker here. He's got a great leg. I'll let you talk about him because you had some great conversations with Coach, but he won a big playoff game last year, and you know, this is the type of guy you need. Now it's all evened up. Let's go.
Jay Steiner with the extra point coming over from soccer, the big overtime victory as well from 37 yards out. He gets the extra point here. We are tied at 7 between West Seneca East and Starpoint. Keanu Lawton, his first touchdown at the varsity level. We're not up and coming right back on the law office of William Attar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing. And welcome back to Tudor Stadium. Tied up at 7 between West Seneca East and Starpoint at Section 6 Class B1 showdown. To begin our coverage here in Western New York of the Law Office of William Matar's Thursday Night Lights presented by Stella Roofing right here on My TV Buffalo. Jay Steiner getting ready to kick off after converting the extra point. Keanu Lawton ending the best drive for Starpoint tonight offensively with the 2-yard score. It's a brief pickup now for the Trojans. Here's Joey Molnar on the return, and he is stopped at the 33-yard line. So, Scott, it was West Seneca East that got off to a hot start offensively. Starpoint able to counter. How does that drive maybe counter what the Trojans look to do here?
Well, I think you've watched kind of the tail of the tape with both of these teams. One, West Seneca East started out with the power run game, then they went to their spread to open up their run even more. You watched Starpoint come out passing the ball. Then they've had a lot of success with 3 different times where they had the 2-play run plays in a row that resulted finally in the touchdown for them down. So right now they're both playing very good games, and they're showing the versatility and adapting on the fly.
Well, let's see how the Trojans respond. 1st and 10 on their own 34. On the carry is Eric Johnson. He bursts the outside, crosses the 45, still on his feet, and then knocked out of bounds at the Trojans' 45-yard line. A flag comes in as a result, but for the first time tonight, Scott, the Trojans display the speed of the freshman Johnson.
Yeah, you're starting to been running it up inside the tackles. This is the first time they've been on the outside, on the edge, and they're seeing something upstairs in the box. We're probably sharing or just above us here, but they're seeing something now, and that was a great adjustment for them. If this stands, big-time run. They've had a couple of those now, but they've been, called back for penalties.
Replay the down.
Wait for the call from our officiating crew. Both teams have had success over the years. The Starpoint Spartans won a Section 6 championship back in 1984. Went 9-0, won the championship at what was then known as Rich Stadium. There was no state tournament at that point, but 1984, big championship. And West Seneca East, over the last 10, 15 years, have done well, making it to the stadium in 2012, 2015, and of course 2018, the big run, a state runner-up finish.
And clearly a lot of those championships were runs with, guys by the name of Dolak, John Dolak, Sean Dolak, guys like Andy Smigero we were talking about earlier, offensive linemen like Evan Kazarchik that went on to be a 4-year starter at the University of Buffalo. Great tradition from both programs here, as you mentioned. They've been around a very long time, and we're seeing a great football game here tonight.
We had 2 fouls on the play. Holding, 62 offense, and late hit out of bounds, dead ball on the defense. They're going to enforce separately. I'll get you a number. Eric, what was the number on the late hit? Justin, 6.
Let's take a look again at the full penalty.
Great lead to the outside. Number 62 is just running his feet. I think that's actually a pretty nice job. I don't see the hold, but I'll tell you, and even a late hit. I know they're protecting the kids, but that was a very well blocked, outside run, and I think the kid just got just over pursuit a little bit.
So 7:44 left in the second quarter. Joe Kraus and Scott Pilkey with you on Thursday Night Lights. We are tied at 7. West Seneca East on the move. And as you said, Scott, it's been a really solid game so far.
Yeah, both teams are doing exactly what they said they were going to do, and they're making adjustments based on what the other team is doing. So it's a nice chess match here so far.
On the first down run, DJ Banker on the QB keeper. He is stopped quickly by Starpoint's Caden Boyd. Able to get the stop. So we're down to 7.5 minutes remaining in the first half of play. Ball will now be spotted at the 46-yard line of West Seneca East. Great crowd on hand here at Starpoint High School. The Spartans marching band did a great rendition of the Star Spangled Banner before we began our ball game tonight. First and 10 to 46 and more flags on the field. It's always good to see.
False start, offense, 5 yards.
False start is the call. It's always good to see, Scott, the marching bands. It's making a comeback around Western New York to see them come and play here in the stands.
Well, it's the pride of smaller schools, you know, music, and it's the pride of the town, you know, and that's what you're seeing out here tonight. Beautiful evening. You know, we had rain earlier in the day. It's a crisp night for football. And both teams are really representing their schools well tonight. Class acts. There's the band
great
right
look
there.
To see.
12th man right there.
First and 15 at the Trojans 41. Baker takes the snap, steps up, now on the run. He spins his way up to the 48-yard line, and then is stopped by Starpoint defense. Victor Collins on the tackle. Good second down run to shrink down the amount of yards needed for the next first down.
Yep, you know, he steps up. He does a nice job. He was aware. He had a good protection, but he saw green in front of him, and you can't pass up color. Nice job.
Second and 8 as the Trojans are nearing midfield. Under 6 minutes left to go in the first half. Baker stops. Throws a little sidearm pass. The pass was incomplete. A flag is on the field. Looked to be a little contact between Crispin of Starpoint and Johnson of West Seneca East.
Holding, 62 on the offense. Taking it back, Justin.
But another holding penalty instead for the Trojans.
And again, the concepts are great. You see everybody's running the right routes. There's good pass pro, but, you know, we're still making the little mistakes that they have on, always you're going to see in week one. Gets outside. Yeah, that's a little bit of a dance, but you know what? You just got to keep developing the young men.
So with the penalty, the ball is now spotted at the Trojans' 38-yard line. 5:43 left to go in the second quarter. Going to be second and 17 coming up. Banker in the shotgun. Banker takes the snap. Looks a high pass. It is caught by Molnar. Molnar gets the outside. Gets close to midfield. And then knocked out of bounds. On that one play, Scott, the Trojans able to get most of that yardage back.
Yeah, and it actually was a pretty darn, they've been setting this up with the outside run to the left the last couple times. And then they give that same look going to the right for a little throwback pass. Nice job. Sell it to the right, throw it back to the left, set up your outside block. And a great job by number 24. He's a tough guy, isn't he? I love watching Joey Molnar play. I want to see him play the rest of the season. Good, very good football player.
Joey Molnar, a two-way player tonight for the Trojans. Going to bring up 3rd and 8.
Check with me to the sideline.
And more movement in the trenches.
Offense.
Another full start penalty against the Trojans here.
When we talk about learning on the fly, every single time you see a new nuance to their game plan. Now they set it up, threw it back. That was something they practiced all week. That was the first time they checked with me based on the defensive front. And not everybody's got to be on the same page when you start putting in the checks with me, because they've been jumping off a little bit. Let them settle down, get back to doing what they've been doing well, which is running the ball hard.
Brings up 3rd and 13 for West Seneca East, who scored first tonight. Then Starpoint countered early in the second quarter. A big pass over the middle. It is caught at the 45-yard line of Starpoint. A big play from who else? Joey Molnar.
Yeah.
Joey Molnar listed at 5'10", 170 pounds, just able to weave his way in here tonight for the Trojans.
And he's only a junior. The kid's playing like a senior already, and he's only a junior.
Another first down as we take a look again.
What I really like is how the quarterback is playing. He steps up, he stays true, looks his first guy off, which held the safety, and then throws it across the middle to his sure hand, Mr. Molnar.
Another first down brought to you by Express Windows, now installing windows as low as $329 within 5 to 6 weeks. As the Trojans continue to install the run game here, another big run with just over 4.5 minutes to go.
And that's the way to keep your guys back into it. You had a bunch of penalties that were killing your drives. Now get back to your bread and butter. A great 8-yard run to start it off. Keep the momentum going. Control the clock. Control the momentum of the game.
Kevin Sadowski on that last carry. Trojans inside the Spartans 40. Ball is loose, and making the quick recovery was Sadowski. Second snap that Kevin has had it to him directly.
Yeah, this has been the motif of West Seneca East, all night. Get things going, break down a little bit, But they're definitely a dangerous football team with this single wing. I really like the way they've been running it up front, especially. They've been blocking it really well. The discipline of the quarterback to step up when they are throwing the ball has been key all night long for them. If they could just eliminate the penalties.
Vinny Gambos in at center tonight, only a sophomore, as Baker takes the snap looking downfield. It is incomplete. There are 2 flags thrown on the play. Intended receiver Connor Hall.
Yeah, there was a little bit too much contact down there, but then again, an argument could be made by the DB making that play, because if that had been complete in stride, it would have been a touchdown.
Pass interference, defense number 21.
So the penalty is called against Starpoint's Frank Butita in the secondary.
I think it's a pretty well thrown ball from what we could see up here. He's in stride, and if he was not held and he caught that in stride, that would have been a touchdown. So, that's what the young man could do, and actually it's probably something that his coach told him. If you think he's got behind you, get the penalty so he at least lived to play another day.
So first down coming up for West Seneca East of the Starpoint 29-yard line. 3:26 to go.
Spartans need to get off the field. They're showing signs of fatigue.
And off to the fullback, Kyler Montero. Gets his way just shy of the 25, about a 3 or 4 yard gain. And then Victor Collins in the Starpoint defense makes the stop. Kyler Montero with the lone touchdown in this contest for the Trojans.
These are both really tough teams, aren't they? Look at that number 66 on both sides of the ball.
Stay tuned for the Nitsa School Bus stop of the game. A lot of big plays on both sides of the field, as now it's an end around to Eric Johnson. Johnson has the open daylight for the touchdown. The freshman, Eric Johnson, scoring from 25 yards out. The touchdown brought to you by Kaleida Health, the official healthcare provider of the Buffalo Bills.
And you could tell the body language when they're coming up on that side of, this has been a long drive, long physical drive, and I think that you're starting to see just a little bit of tired nature in the defense of Starpoint right now. But what a nice run. They've been setting that up again. Everything you're seeing that Coach Marino is doing has been set up earlier in the first quarter, and they're making adjustments for the second quarter at the right time, and they're running it against the right looks.
Joey Molnar ready for the extra point attempt. Trojans finding success on the ground. Now a timeout called by the visiting West Seneca East Trojans with 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in half number one. Tonight's closed captioning is exclusively brought to you by Buffalo Fresh Roof. Well, we got a chance to talk with Jim Marino as we got a chance, and he said the past couple of years, really the physicality was missing, and he harkened back to those teams in 2012, 15, and 18 that made it to the stadium and beyond. And so far, from your assessment, Scott, has the physicality returned for the Trojans?
I think you're seeing it in guys like Joey Molnar. I won't call him like a Dolak right now, but he is a comparative type of player. I think you look at Joey Molnar has been consistent, and Anthony DiMartino has been a force on both sides of the ball. I really think he's got these kids ready to go. They need a little bit more discipline so they're not making the silly mistakes. But once they clear those up, West Seneca East is going to be a very good football team this year.
Extra point attempt and trying to get into the end zone for a 2-point attempt instead. After it was blocked, it was DJ Baker was the holder. Waiting for the official call, and official says it's good. So the 2-point run off a blocked PAT attempt. Now there's going to be some discussion with the officials. Currently indicated is a 2-point conversion for Banker off of the blocked extra point attempt. Starpoint had the block, and then Banker was right there to cash it in.
You practice it all summer long. Fire, and that's what they did well there that time. They didn't give up on the ball.
We'll step aside, take a short break. The Trojans are up by 8, and you are watching the law office of William Attar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing. Great skies here the first Thursday of September. West Seneca East now out in front 15-7. It was a 25-yard run for Eric Johnson. And then a 2-point conversion after a blocked PAT attempt for the 15-7 lead. DJ Banker cashing it in, as on the return, Starpoint is going to set up shop just outside their own 30-yard line. As you can see on your screen, Starpoint blocked the extra point attempt, and that Banker right on cue. His eyes downfield once again, and he touches the pylon and in.
That's called not giving up on the ball. Great hustle, great awareness, and 2 points, which could be the difference in this game the way this is going tonight.
So Starpoint on its last offensive drive made its way to the end zone. Keanu Lawton with the score from 2 yards out. Chase takes the snap. He is on the run, still on the move, and brought down. A big stop in the backfield by the big man, Anthony DiMartino.
He's playing on a different level tonight. They're moving him around. He went from the D end. They've now got him into the 3. I think what you're seeing is wherever he lines up, they're also bringing an inside linebacker blitz, and it's overwhelming the center and the left guard on that one. He is a big man, dude, and he moves very well. I'm mistaken. He was still at the left end, but the great pressure from the right side drove the quarterback over into the arms of DiMartino.
So a big loss. Going to set up 2nd and 37. Snap. Spartans going to the ground and bottled up at the line of scrimmage. Was Lawton on the play. 90 seconds left in the first half. A reminder coming up. It is the UB Bulls halftime show. UB Bulls football, family, affordable fun. Showcase our Athletic Associates Center Scholar Athletes presented by Dr. Todd Shakin. Participating school administrator interviews, Thursday night lights and Friday night rivals highlights from across the country. First half highlights from this contest and much more. Again, that is the UB Bulls halftime show coming up. And Scott, I know UB, they just built a nice scoreboard at their football field just to enhance the game day atmosphere.
Well, their entire environment over there has changed. It's the best facilities in the Mid-American Conference. And I was very blessed to, work there for 8 years and to see how it's growing now under Coach Lembo, class act guy. And, the program is really representing our Western New York and Buffalo very well. Love being a UB Bull, baby.
3rd and 26 coming up at the Starpoint 14-yard line. It's Brady Murray, as you saw on your screen a moment ago, ready to try to make another stop. Jace drops back, pressure now throwing along the near sideline to Crispin. It is broken up, incomplete. One-on-one coverage. The battle won by DJ Baker in the secondary.
Well, you know what you were talking about, the physicality of the game. It's starting to dominate the line. If you can see that, number 54 takes on 2 guys, he's still getting great pressure, and it's forcing the quarterback to throw the ball off his back foot. And this is just a great job up front, and the secondary is not letting anything behind him.
DJ Baker, along with the 2 corners, Eric Johnson, the sophomore, and Sincere Tucker, the freshman, rounding out the secondary for the West Sac East Trojans. Looks like Banker and Tucker back to return. Take a couple bounces. And this is Eric Johnson at midfield. Up to the 45 to the 40. Johnson down the near sideline and knocked him out into the Starpoint sideline. A good return for Johnson with 1:12 to play.
I think they might call something back here on Banker. Put his hands on the back of the young man. I couldn't tell if it was a block in the back or if it was just something that the ref saw from across the field. But again, as we're seeing tonight, West Seneca East is kind of bit with the penalty bug, and but that comes with aggression. We talked about earlier, when you want to have an aggressive football team, you're going to have these types of mistakes, especially early in the football season.
And now Starpoint coach Jay Bauman issuing to his players to stay behind the white chalk.
Both on the receiving team. The first foul was a block in the back. The second foul was a blindside block, personal foul. That penalty is going to be declined and will enforce the block in the back.
That's the second time they've been aware. They're really trying to protect the guys out here, especially with those blindside blocks that they're talking about. Head trauma and concussion, those are the things you have to prevent at all costs. And, some people watching might be thinking that we're seeing too many flags earlier in the year, but I think that's important to establish it for the rest of the season,
Well, West Sac East so far finding success in the ground game. So we take a look once again at the return. This is Johnson. Gets away from one defender.
Number 9 came back, didn't have to place his hand on him. It was a pretty good call by the ref there.
Banker takes the snap, throws on the run, a bobbling catch. It is complete. from Chase Hall, the junior, listed at 6'1". It's a big first down catch for the Trojans.
I think they still have 2 timeouts left to go on the West Seneca East side. 49 seconds. They're going to let this run down. Or nice play action pass. Downfield, great seam route. Nice job.
First down brought to you by Express Windows. Here is the run from Eric Johnson. Does a little dance on the outside and stopped just past the 25-yard line. Victor Collins and Alex Jurowitz teaming up on the stop.
Marino is doing a really nice job with really stretching. You know, you see Spartans come out here, and they're supposed to be the spread offense to keep you running from one side to the other to tire the defense down. Marino is the one doing that right now with outside runs, and they're doing a great job spreading this team out, and it's affecting, it's tiring out the defense on the Spartans. So it's a great game plan so far by the West Seneca East coaching staff.
Timeout was taken with 27 seconds left in this first half. Both coaches spoke highly of the rest of their coaching staffs. It's Mark Kowalik, Mark Gregoire of West Seneca East, along with Jim's sons, Jacob and Jared, who were both on that 2018 team. Scott Ackerman and Nick Ham round out the Trojans coaching staff. And then for Starpoint, it is Aaron Chase, the quarterback coach, Joe Carlson, the receiver and defensive back coach. Tim Griffin coaches the offensive line. Scott Granditz on the defensive line. And a familiar face here at Starpoint, Al Caminaro, back and coaching the special teams.
It's always great having a mentor like that on the sideline. You know, I've been very lucky in the past where I had former head coaches work for me when I was at Erie Community College. You're going to see the benefit of that down the line here.
Second and 10 throw. It is incomplete. Banker over the middle of the field looking for the freshman Connor Hall. This will now set up 3rd and 7.
I think you're going to see another misdirection play. Right now, you're going to see something where it's going to be the outside look, but it's going to be an inside handoff.
3rd and 7 at the Starpoint 29-yard line. Banker in the shotgun. Banker takes a snap, steps up, now throws on the run towards the end zone, and it is caught. What a catch in the end zone from who else? Joey Mulder from 29 yards out. It's another Kaleida Health touchdown, the official healthcare provider of the Buffalo Bills.
West Seneca East has done a nice job. They put the foot on the gas, and they haven't taken it off in the entire second quarter, and it's resulted in 3 scores and a convincing lead going into halftime. Nice job stepping back against the offensive line's doing a great job. He stays in the pocket, steps up, and delivers the money ball. Great job.
Joey Mulder, well, we got a chance to talk with him earlier this week. He said, we're ready to go. We're excited to make another big run. And so far, with the catch now, a low snap, Mulder picks it up, takes one defender, and then brought down to prevent another 2-point conversion if you're the Starpoint defense.
Good first half. You're starting to see little injuries, little dingers as guys are getting a little tired here at the end of the first half. Hopefully that young man's okay. Some cramping going on. Brady Chrisman is a young man down.
So West Seneca East now with a 2-score lead as Chrisman, they get some help from the Starpoint athletic trainer, able to jog off towards the sideline, but West Seneca East winning in every aspect of the game so far.
Yeah, if they can just eliminate the penalties, I think their penalties are probably 2-1 right now, that of Starpoint's. But again, it comes with that aggressive mentality that Coach Marino has always had, and you see it, really embedded in his players. The physicality is really making a difference now. It's going to make a difference in the later quarters as we go.
So Montero and Molnar, both part of the junior class. Eric Johnson, a sophomore, with the other touchdown play tonight for the Trojans to build this 21-7 lead. Still plenty of time left to play, of course, another half to go. I know, Scott, you've seen a lot of crazy finishes in your career as a coach as well.
Yeah, I think that if Marino stays and they can eliminate some of the first half penalties, they've made good adjustments scheme wise. You just they need a couple big plays here for Starpoint to get back into the game. Here we go.
Spartans able to get up to the 40 thanks to the return of Frank Butita. 10 seconds left to go before the half. West Seneca East did defer the coin toss. Starpoint had the opening drive, so Trojans out of halftime will have the first drive.
This is a great first game for us to get to watch. Again, a lot of penalties, but good sportsmanship, hard ball. You see the coaches, a lot of the schemes are working really, really well. They're being performed well, and everybody's playing hard football.
Jason, the shotgun, takes the snap, looks to his right down the sideline. A low pass incomplete, but we do have a flag on the field.
Might have a chop block here. The flag's been out so much, you're starting to think that it's because of the colors of West Seneca
Chop
East.
block on the offense, number 51 and 72. 15 yards.
The flag matches the helmet, you know what I mean? See, and those are the types of mistakes when you get tired. If you hang on too long, it might be a double team. But if somebody's not staying on their feet, there's no intentional chop block going on with those guys. It's something they fall into. So at the halftime, hopefully they can recover. Obviously we talk about both of these rosters. There aren't a ton of guys on either side. So hopefully Starpoint can overcome a lot of their injuries that they have. They have a lot of their big guys still sitting on the sideline. They played physically, and it's been a good first half of football on both sides.
Starpoint elects to take a knee, and that will conclude the first half of action. West Seneca East on top of Starpoint, 21-7. Kyler Montero with the 1-yard score that began our scoring spree to give West Seneca East the 7-0 lead. County Lawton countered at the 8:03 mark of the second quarter for Starpoint. And then the Trojans, 14 unanswered. Eric Johnson, a 25-yard scamper. And then off of a dime from DJ Banker, Joey Muller, a 29-yard catch to build this 21-7 lead.
Yeah, and they're relying on their dogs. They're relying on their horses, I really do love the physicality of West Seneca East. They're starting to win the battle up front. Their dominant players are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. There's 4 guys that I believe are college-level type of players that Coach Marino has playing at a really high level, even when they're juniors. Coach, how you doing so far?
Good, Coach. How are you?
Hey, great first
You
half.
got me right in front. I'm not going to be able to hear you by the cheerleaders here.
That's okay. Great
All right.
first half. We talked about the aggressive play of your team. I think you're starting to wear them down a little bit. How are you guys doing going into halftime, Coach?
Agreed. I think good. We got a little bit of momentum there. It's been hard trying to overcome the penalties. Has been tough. A lot of them self-inflicted. We can't do that in the second half. We got to clean those up here at halftime. And when it wasn't a penalty, it was a bad snap or a bobbled play or something like that. So we cleaned those things up here in the second half. I like the way we're headed.
Jim, all three of your touchdown scorers are underclassmen, 2 juniors and a sophomore. How nice is that when we talked the other day about the future of this program and keeping the chains moving?
It's great, to see these young guys perform under the lights here. Some of them their first varsity game they've ever played in, and they're handling it well. They're handling their business, and it's really good to see.
Well, Jim, thanks again for stopping by. We'll see you later in the second half.
All right, thank you so much.
Again, that is West Seneca East head coach Jim Marino. At halftime, his Trojans on top of the Starpoint Spartans 21-7. We'll step aside for a halftime break. You are watching the Law Office of William & Tarr's Thursday Night Lights. We're presented by Stellar Roofing.
You're watching the UB Bulls Halftime Report.
And welcome back to Starpoint High School. West Seneca East leads Starpoint by a score of 21-7. You're watching the UB Bulls halftime show. UB Bulls football, family, affordable fun. Now it's time to introduce our Athletic Associate Scholar Athlete of the game.
Dr. Todd Shackton from the Aesthetic Associates Center is proud to present Thursday Night Lights Aesthetic Associates Scholar Athlete of the Week. With a 95 GPA, DJ Benker is the Scholar Athlete for West Seneca East High School. DJ's athletic achievements include being a multi-sport athlete, excelling at baseball and hockey as well as football. DJ is also a member of the National Honor Society, and his community involvement includes being an assistant coach for team baseball. This All-Star is now entered for a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Congratulations to the Aesthetic Associates Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Congrats to DJ, and once again, our score, West Seneca East, on top of Starpoint by a score of 21-7. We'll be right back with more. This is the Law Office of William Matar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing.
You're watching the UB Bulls Halftime Report.
And welcome back to our halftime show. 21-7, West Seneca East in front of Starpoint. Each week during halftime of our Friday Night Rivals broadcast, we'll be showcasing outstanding Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals game highlights from across the country. Here's some of the best from last week's games.
The best Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals highlights from across the country.
And here comes Khalil Taylor. Welcome to the Rams, Mr. Khalil. He can fly. There goes Khalil Taylor with a head of steam. Here goes Khalil. Across midfield. The kicker to beat. Khalil Taylor. Welcome to Park Richland, young man. Anything you can do, I can do better. DZ.
Trying to find somebody. Good coverage there. Here comes Agent Zero with a big hit. Wow! Justin Hartley came in and laid down the leather old school style.
Facing some pressure, Lawrence with the catch and the moves. Gets past midfield and more. Another move. 40, 30, 20, 10. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets.
Starting the fourth quarter, Bradley going long. Trying for a home run hit, and as he makes the catch. Yes, he does. Great catch by Keita Rego into the red zone, and that's how you ignite a crowd to start the fourth quarter.
From 59 yards, hold is good, kicks on the way, and he drilled it. With room to spare, Tommy Baccaro extends the drill with a
Once again, our halftime score, West Seneca East on top of Starpoint, 21-7. We'll be right back after this short break. You're watching the Law Office of William Matar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing. winding down at halftime. West Seneca East on top of Starpoint, 21-7. Joe Kraus and Scott Pilkey with you as we take a look at the first half highlights. And to start off, Starpoint had a wild snap going over the head of its punter. And then West Seneca East got able to cash it in with the opening score from Kyler Montero.
And you see a consistency as we go through these highlights. You're going to see just great pressure and awareness. Everybody's around the ball, hats on the football, like you see here with a great interception. And then just a great 4th and 1 stop here to keep them in the game in the first quarter.
And then that leads to the next run from Keanu Lawton, his first varsity touchdown. But West Seneca East able to counter with the sophomore Eric Johnson, 25 yards to the house.
Both teams have had real good success tonight with misdirection. This is not misdirection, but the ball was bouncing and everybody's hustling, and that's why this turned into a 2-point conversion.
And then West Seneca East able to go to the air. DJ Banker finds Joey Molnar for the 29-yard score in the heart of the Starpoint secondary. And that is where we stand. West Seneca East on top of Starpoint, 21-7. As you take a look at the first half stats, the rushing about the same. The Trojans winning the passing category in total yards. The turnovers, Starpoint has 1. Both teams only with 4 first downs.
Well, it's a great occupation. They're doing everything they wanted to do. A little too many mistakes, but they're moving the football on the West Seneca East side of the ball. They've got to settle in, like Coach said, on the Starpoint side of the ball. So let's see how they did that at halftime.
And welcome back up here in the press box at Tudor Stadium. Joe Kraus and Scott Pilkey with you. Spartans trailing by 14 as we bring in Starpoint coach Jay Bauman. And Jay, what are maybe the assessments and maybe some adjustments coming out of halftime?
I would say our biggest issue right now is attacking the football. So the ball's been in the air a couple times. We've had a couple deep shots ready to go. We just haven't attacked it in the air, and we've kind of let it come down to us. And West Seneca East is making great plays right now.
Thanks, Jay, for your time. Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Okay, so West Seneca East on top of Starpoint, 21-7. Joe and Scott with you. We'll step aside for another quick break and bring you back for second half action from Lockport, New York. You're watching the law office of William Matar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing. And welcome back to Starpoint High School. It is week 1 of Thursday Night Lights here, the 2025 season. Joe Kraus, Scott Pilkey with you as the Trojans on top, 21-7. And Scott, we heard from both coaches. What would be your adjustments going out of halftime?
I think that you're going to see a continuation of what we saw in the first half. Hopefully a little bit more disciplined football as both coaches address, either the drops or the penalties. And I think we're going to see another tough match in the second half here. But something's got to be started early for the Spartans in order to get them back on the board. They got to get a 3 and out and then take it downfield. That will reestablish the game and the balance to the game.
West Seneca East will return. This is Johnson making his way up to the 20, and then he will be stopped as we flash our players to the game. DJ Banker, the big touchdown score. Victor Collins looking to get going in the run game. But the Trojans now out of halftime looking for a strong start, already up by 14.
Yeah, I think they get right back to ball control. The key for them winning this game right now is to control the clock. I think they're going to set it up with the run they did in the first half, and hopefully they made the corrections they need to with the penalties. But they can't stop being aggressive. They're doing a great job. The physicality of their game is the difference here tonight.
1st and 10 on the Trojans' 20-yard line. Starpoint looking for a stop from Robert Murray. It's on your screen a moment ago. West Seg East goes to the ground game, and this time with the carry is the senior, Kevin Sadowski. Sadowski with the big run for West Seneca East, known as one of the bruisers, a senior. He is hungry. His teammates are hungry on making one last run to Highmark Stadium before it closes at the end of the year.
I really like the way he reads up front. And again, this is the second time the quarterback has been the lead blocker. It's an ISO, just a tremendous job getting up inside, sacrificing his body, and doing a great job on it.
2nd and 1 at the 29. Here's
There he
Kyler
goes.
Montero going up, and
What
he
a
is
great
tripped
tackle.
from behind. A great tackle indeed from Starpoint. The Trojans get all the way close to the Starpoint 20-yard line. A big run, and it saves a score. However, we do have an injured player. The first down run was brought to you by Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable.
Look at the depth of what West Seneca East has in that backfield. They have a fullback that just went on a 30-yard scamper or better. You've got number 24. You've got number 12. We're seeing some diversity here, and everybody's touching the football. Great physical play up front, and what a foot race. Excellent effort by that young man making the tackle. I think he's probably a bit more gassed than he is hurt right now. At least I hope so.
Starpoint, as we said, bringing a lot of newcomers as Frankie Butita, one of the senior leaders on this team, and head coach Jay Bowen told us earlier in the week that Frankie's the definition of pound-for-pound football player. You see him and you underestimate him, and then you try to attack him, and he just goes and gets after it, not afraid to come out and help support the run as well. But Butita with the big stop, 5'9", 145-pound senior, as Montero's big run sets up the Trojans now 1st and 10 on the Starpoint 20-yard line. Handoff from Sadowski. Here is the end around, making another nice cut and going into the end zone for the touchdown. Eric Johnson, the second score of the night from 20 yards out this time, and this is another ECMC touchdown. Go where the Bills go.
This is a football session that you're seeing here. You're seeing great runs up inside, but they are exhausting the outside linebackers running sideline to sideline on the outside pitches and runs. This is really a tailor-made offense. They run in the single wing in a great way. They throw the ball well. This is a really dominant offense we're starting to see here. And this is the plan. By the third quarter, you're worn down. They can pretty much do what they want to do, like they just showed on that opening drive. That went nearly 80 yards, right?
Yes.
Sorry to jump on you, but I think that went nearly 80 yards and went 5 plays.
Yes. And now the 2-point play. Banker is brought down. So the 2-point play is no good, but West Seneca East recording its third touchdown run of the night. They now lead 27-7. The Trojans had 13 scores on the ground a year ago. They now lead by 20. We'll be right back after this short break. This is the law office of William Attar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing. And welcome back to Thursday Night Lights. Closed captioning tonight is exclusively brought to you by Buffalo Fresh Roof. Well, West Seneca East now has a 20-point lead over Starpoint, 27-7 as our scores. We're getting into the third quarter. Starpoint missing a couple of linemen due to injury, and West Seneca East taking advantage and continuing to run the ball and getting another big touchdown play. The big run, especially from Kyler Montero into the red zone.
Yeah, these are he's allowing his dominant players to do just that. And the biggest tell in that opening drive was what? Penalty free. And so they made their adjustments at halftime. They're only going to call what they haven't made penalties on, and they're going to allow those things to be effective the rest of the game because you control the clock. You're up 21, you're up 20, and now you just got to get stops. I just got to get stops, and you'll own the rest of the game.
3 of the Trojan scores so far tonight on the ground as Starpoint can't secure the kick and will start this new drive just shy of their own 40-yard line, and Starpoint trying to get some players moving. Brady Crispin had a couple big plays back in the first half, but the Spartans trying to get some rhythm going on.
Yeah, he had that nice stop down here on the 2-point attempt. He was the one that made the sack, and just a good player. Bauman has got a great crew of kids here. You can tell they really love playing for him, and they're playing hard.
Chase with an empty backfield takes the snap, looks over the field. The pass is caught. Spartans making their way past midfield. A big play from right on cue. Brady Crispin, a big first down for the Starpoint Spartans into foreign territory. The first down is brought to you by Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable.
Great pass pro. We were given last time he had time to look, read to the outside, and again, he's thrown that ball very well tonight. That's his best pass. He's completed that 3 times. It's been dropped twice, but he completed it 3 times for their biggest gains of the night so far.
Ball spot at the Trojans' 47-yard line. Chase takes the snap. Pressure from Sadowski. Chase gets away, now using his feet, and knocked down from behind, and knocked out of bounds at the 46-yard line.
May have missed a horse collar there. Debatable if you see it in the review. Great to the outside. Little high in the back of the jersey, but you don't call it immediately. I think if it was by the shoulder pads, it's one thing. By the jersey, I don't know.
Drop down in the backfield again. Credit a sack this time for the Trojans. So Starpoint, after a good start to this drive, going backwards in the last couple plays.
Well, they're trying to do what West Seneca East is doing. Get it up the middle, run it outside, open it up a little bit for the seam passes or the outs. It's a nice little flip there, but again, we're not seeing the front line stay on the blocks the way we did in the second quarter.
Chase in the shotgun. Crispin, the motion man. Chase under pressure. Throws from his back foot over the middle and is almost intercepted by DJ Banker right out of his fingertips. And that'll now bring up fourth down.
Well, I know they have to get a lot of yards here to make things up, but they're also in a position where Marino is consistently bringing the middle blitz. And if you've got that, they've got a little screen or some type of tight end drag. That's something they can take advantage of. But see, they were let loose here. I almost thought this was a screen. If it wasn't a screen, you've got a bigger issue. Okay, and right now we talked about this. The size of the defensive line and the offensive line is making a significant difference. You know, Brady Murray is starting to pick it up here, the inside lineman, along with, of course, Anthony DiMartino.
Starpoint on the punt, rolling out of bounds, just past the 30-yard line.
Wonder if that was partially blocked. Came off the foot funny, or it was partially blocked.
8:59 left to go in the third quarter. As you see, Jim Marino signaling to his offense the big plays. And an interesting story from Jim Marino, as he was a West Seneca West graduate, and he has been a part of the West Seneca West Seneca East rivalry every year since 1987 as a player or a coach. He graduated from West in 1991. Continued on to play football at Canisius College, and he is back in his home community of West Seneca, now coaching the Trojans 22 years later.
You're pretty good at your job, you know. That's some great background information there. That's excellent. Look at this.
Sadowski on the carry, stopped at the 30-yard line by Starpoint. Dylan DePaul leading the stop for the Spartans on that play.
Brady Murray is a pretty darn good junior defensive tackle and interior offensive lineman. I've been watching him the last quarter, and he doesn't slow down. He's got a great motor about him on both sides of the ball.
About a 4-yard gain for Sadowski. Just over 8 minutes left to play in quarter number 3. Back on the ground, this is Isaac Irizarry on the carry. Irizarry, a senior, spent some time earlier tonight as a split receiver, now getting the call to the ground as Trojans trying to wind down this clock here, already up by 20.
Yeah, and again, this is, you talk about all those years that Coach Marino has, you know, been in rivalries and everything else. There's not a lot he hasn't seen, and when he has the right people, he runs this offense as well as anybody else in Western New York.
This will now bring up 3rd and 2 for the Trojans at their own 38-yard line. Full house in the backfield for the Trojans. A direct snap to Sadowski this time. He takes it himself, crosses the 40, and it's knocked down at about the 41-yard line. Another first down brought to you by Interstate Batteries. Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable.
This O-line is dominating right now, and they're getting to the second level, but they're also getting push on the front line, which they weren't doing that in the first quarter. This is just they're just a consistent physical team, exactly what Marino needs to get back to where he wants to be.
Banker rolls out to his right, and the pass is incomplete, looking for Irizarry near the Starpoint sideline. Big thanks once again to One-Eye Jack Smokehouse and Grill, located on South Transit Road in Lockport, New York. One-Eye Jack Smokehouse Grill. Great food, great times. Be sure to stop by and get some food if you're hungry, especially if you're watching this game at home.
The brisket was awesome. They're really. I'm driving out here to go eat here. I'll tell you that much.
6:45 to go left in the third quarter. West Seneca East up by 20 at Starpoint. Back up in the broadcast booth. Joe Kraus, Scott Pilkey with you. We're having a good time so far to kick off another season of Thursday Night Lights. You've been to Starpoint a few times in your career, Scott. What is it about this atmosphere that you enjoy the most?
Well, again, this is one of those great venues where you have some tremendous high school. It means a lot here, and they're working hard. Coach Bauman, you can tell they're going to have a great future. It's a good mixture of legacy and a good mixture of understanding how important the legacy is going forward. And I think it's being exemplified by both of these teams and their traditions, And that's what I love seeing about it. These kids don't give up. They're tough. They're playing through injury right now, and they're playing short a lot of their bigger guys. But now we're looking here to get back to the game plan. These are just following their runs. When you start to see ankle tackles like you're seeing, this is really getting to the membrane of a defense where you're going to see one open up for a major score here, probably in the next couple plays.
A big run from Irizarry. First and 10. Trojans once again go to the ground game with Kyler Montero, who began our scoring tonight with the 1-yard run up the middle in the early stages of quarter number 1. About a 2-yard gain that time for Montero, another player the head coach Jim Marino spoke highly about when we got a chance to talk with him early in the offseason. Second and 8. Banker under center. Now he's going to try and spin away. This time Starpoint was ready. Count 3 defenders on the stop that time for Starpoint to set up third down.
Great utilization of the clock. They're huddling up. They're letting things run down to about 5 to 6 seconds before they're snapping the ball. This is a mature-looking offense right now that understands what they do and what have they done best. They're eliminating the mistakes. You're not seeing that every 4 or 5 plays right now. Every 10, this is why they're ahead right now, going into the fourth quarter. Once they run this down, they probably got another 2 or 3 minutes in this drive if they can get this first down here.
3rd and 9. Direct snap, then a counter run again to Irizarry. Gets past the 30-yard line.
Down.
A big run for West Seneca East with just over 4 minutes remaining. Once again, Scott, the blocking from the Trojans offensive line has been huge.
They're back blocking. They're pulling the backside guard and the fullback up inside. It's a simple power play, and they've been running it successfully all night. But that same look has hit in between the guards, but it's also been used in the outside runs that we've seen really stretch this Starpoint defense earlier in the second quarter and now in the third quarter. Big play coming up here, I got a feeling.
From the 30, counter run again. This time Montero answers the call. And right in the heart of the Starpoint defense is Joe Hess, number 51, making the stop for the Spartans. Five-yard gain. Another good run as West Seneca East returns home next Friday, September 12th, to take on Cheektowaga. Then hosts the Newport Lancers on September 19th, both at 7 p.m. And then rounding out the month of September on the road against Lakeshore at 6:30 on September 26th. And also, you can check out more action on Thursday Night Lights. It'll be the Depew Wildcats taking on the Iroquois Hawks. That'll be next Thursday right here on MyTV Buffalo at 7 p.m. Trojans continue to move the chains here with just over 2 minutes left in the third.
Ground and pound, and that's what they're doing. You're starting to see guys, I need a break, I need a little breather.
Finn Martin able to get to the sideline, a little shake it up. He had the big play earlier tonight defensively.
Yeah, he had a great stop on that fourth down, and he's been playing tough. You know, they have very few guys his size up front, but they're athletic, and they're doing the best that they can up here. But West Seneca East is just, they got this train running.
Another first down brought to you by Interstate Batteries. Trojans continue to move the ball with DJ Banker on a QB carry. West Seneca East had a 21-7 lead at halftime. They get the extra score, second of the night from Eric Johnson. So we're approaching the final minute of the third quarter. 2nd and 9. Trojans inside the 20. Ball is loose. It pops out and recovered by Banker, the Trojans quarterback. Reminder, coming up later on, be sure to stay tuned as we'll be highlighting the school bus stop of the game.
We just mentioned number 62 running off. He had that really nice 4th down and 1 in the first quarter. You know, as a junior, you know, he's a big man, Vin Martin, and I'm hoping he's all right. I'd love to see him back out there. Hopefully it was just a leg cramp or something like that, but he's played a nice game so far too. And you're starting to see, you know, the physicality of this game is starting to wear and tear on the few numbers and in the limited depth that Starpoint has right now. But their players are, you know, they got a good nucleus of people.
We'll step aside for a short break and come back. More action from Lockport, New York after this short break. Welcome back after the injury timeout from Starpoint. Caden Boyd getting some adjustments, only a sophomore, and getting the early reps as a varsity player. Good to see he's up under his own feet.
Yeah, Coach was talking about him before the game too, and we said, who are some of the guys we should take a look at? You know, he says there's 2 or 3 dudes that have spent a lot of time in the weight room this year, and he's one of them. So glad to see he's okay, and can't afford too many more injuries, that's for sure.
David Chase, as you take a look at our stat ticker, 42 yards passing. Victor Collins still at 27 yards rushing for Starpoint. As we're under 30 seconds left in the third quarter. 3rd and 11 for West Seneca East from the Starpoint 21-yard line. DJ Banker, potentially a second touchdown pass to cap off this drive as he rolls out to his right, throws over, makes a catch to Frankie Pacitti, and Pacitti making his first catch tonight, stopped shy of the 15-yard line, and this will conclude the third quarter of play. West Seneca East with a 27-7 lead over Starpoint. Going into the fourth quarter with a 20-point lead, and we will step aside and come right back with more of the law office of William Attar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing. Welcome back. Start of the fourth quarter. Joe Kraus, Scott Pilkey, and the crew with you tonight from the law office of William Matar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing. Great crowd on hand here at Tudor Stadium, home of the Starpoint Spartans. They are building a new turf field right behind, and that will be where the baseball and softball teams will be playing, I believe, at the start of next year. But great crowd on hand, so we have some movement here to start the fourth quarter.
And again, they've done this a couple times. You know, they lull you with the first, the first snap of the ball. You get a little tired. They change the cadence a little bit, and they get 5 yards out of it.
They'll call it now 4th and 1 after the penalty on the Starpoint 11-yard line.
And that was actually the last place they used it, was down here when it was 4th and 6 to begin with. Nice job using that change of cadence again.
Quick snap. And going up the middle, that time were the Trojans. Only about a yard or two before. Our player of the game from Starpoint, Victor Collins, making the stop. The inside linebacker, a defensive presence type of player. And it's going to be enough, though, for a first down. Brought to you by Express Windows. Now installing windows as low as $329 within 5 to 6 weeks.
That was a nice stand. I mean, I didn't think he gained an extra yard, but I thought they did a great job there in that stand. But obviously, I don't have eyes from up here, so they got the first down. But they're playing tough still.
Up and making the run about a yard or so. Another carry, this time for the quarterback, DJ Banker. Bring up second down coming up. Well, we mentioned where West Seneca East will be following this contest. We'll get through the start point the rest of September in just a moment. As the Trojans going right up the middle again, and another big run, this time from Irizario, who's got some carries as the game has gone on. Clock continues to wind down. This is going to be third down coming up.
They're slowing the pace down. They're staying physical. They're staying on their blocks. You know, they score this one and get one more stop. You'll probably see one more, long extended drive the way that they're going. And I'm really impressed with how much more disciplined this team is, after a halftime. They're doing what they do well, and they're getting used to it. They're settling in.
Third and goal from the 5. Direct snap to Montero. He goes up the middle, and he is into the end zone for the touchdown. Kyler Montero, his second score of the night from 5 yards out, and it is another Kaleida Health touchdown, the official healthcare provider of the Buffalo Bills.
I'll tell you, I really like this kid. He's been a force on defense. He's been a lead blocker. That's his second touchdown. He, as a fullback, he had a 30-yard scamper. He's somebody that's done more blocking than anybody else today. But when he touches the football, he's money. So this team's got a lot of great players on it, and I can't wait to watch them the rest of the season.
Trojans going for the 2-point play. It's Kevin Sadowski on the right side of the offensive line. The linemen doing their work tonight. Now the Trojans have a 35-7 lead over Starpoint with 9:46 to go in the fourth quarter. We will step aside for another break. You are watching the law office of William Matar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing. And welcome back to Starpoint High School. Now it's time for our school bus stop of the game.
It's the school bus stop of the game. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
It's a fourth down here, or it's a great interception. Pressure came in, interrupted the throwing motion of the quarterback, and that guy has been dominant all game. Anthony DiMartino coming back for the pick. And for a guy that's 250 pounds, he moves really, really well.
Again, that was our school bus stop of the game. West Seneca East on top of Starpoint 35-7. Line drive kick from Mulder. Spartans have to track it down to race for the ball, and able to finally scoop on top of it is Keanu Lawton back at the Starpoint 5-yard line.
Not a place where you want to start when you're making trying to get back in the game. But again, what do you want to do here? When you're Coach Bauman, you don't stop playing. You don't stop coaching. What he said earlier, you got to learn. And that's what he's doing with his guys now. He's got to get out of his own end. He's got to get a good drive going, whether they win or lose. It's a long season. So right now, keep doing the right thing and keep your guys learning and developing even through challenges like this.
Anthony DiMartino back on the field for the Trojans. First down run play for Starpoint. And Starpoint not able to find any room on that last carry. Speaking of the Spartans, after tonight's contest, they'll hit the road next Friday at Lewis and Porter. Then they'll be back here at Tudor Stadium on September 19th to host the Pioneer Panthers. And then to round out the month of September on the road against South Park on Friday, September 26th. As we have an injured player from West Seneca East.
Anthony grabbed his calf. I think he's probably cramping up here, as we've seen happen to a couple other guys.
Well, West Seneca East has done a great job in the running game all night. It started with Kevin Sadowski, and then Kyler Montero with the 2 touchdowns, Eric Johnson with the 2 touchdowns. But you can run the ball in September, Scott. How can that help you in potentially October and November?
Well, you're starting to see it. Even when you're watching throughout the entire course of the game, everybody that's involved in this single wing and with the offensive line up front getting pushed, this is what you're seeing. Just a hammer, hammer, hammer. It's going to break people down over the season. And if you can stay healthy, this will be the difference if you win in the championship or not late in the season. And you're seeing so many of their running backs explosive. You're seeing their quarterbacks are explosive. This is a good football team, man.
Back to the ground game for Starpoint is a big throwdown behind the line of scrimmage. John C. Melendez getting some action on the defensive line for West Seneca East, number 68. Joey Molners continue to be all over the place tonight as well. Had the touchdown catch on the offensive side of the ball late in the first half. Starpoint now facing 3rd and 5. Still on their back door at the 10-yard line. Another run play from Starpoint. And bottled up a short gain, and then Isaac Irizarry with the first touch.
They got to put it out of their own end. If you're Coach Marino, you'll start getting some of your younger guys in, like you're seeing a little spot in here and there on the defensive side. These are times where you get those valuable reps for your young guys so they can learn the system as well in case you have anybody go down during the course of the season.
Starpoint back to punt. Ball takes a couple bounces and rolls at the 44-yard line of Starpoint with 8:01 remaining in the fourth quarter. There is a flag, however, on the field. Holding penalty is called.
9 white after the kick cross the line, post. Nine on the defense. First down.
So after the penalty, 8:01 left in the fourth quarter. As we welcome you back inside the press box of Tudor Stadium. Joe Kraus, Scott Pilkey with you. And Scott, a great atmosphere as we talked about, but it's really nice to get back into the football side of the schedule, and what a great game we've had from both teams.
Yeah, and to see the maturity of Coach Marino's team coming out of halftime, creating opportunities with the run game, whether it's outside or inside, and the occasional pass when they need to. They've got great athletes and great flexibility and great toughness, and they could learn on the fly, which they did today. Fewer penalties in the second half. That shows great maturity of your team in a very quick manner.
Personal foul, face mask, 59 on the defense.
Now, you haven't seen Starpoint overly penalized, but when they're tired toward the end of the game, this is where you're going to have hands in the face, the mistakes that we haven't seen most of the game so far.
So as a result, the penalty will be first down for the Trojans at the 44-yard line, where the punt ended up. Here is the snap. Quick handoff up the middle to Sadowski. Makes his way past the 35, bringing a couple of defenders with him. A big run for the Trojans with under 8 minutes left to play in regulation, all the way up to the 34-yard line. Ten-yard gain. That'll be enough for a first down, brought to you by Express Windows. Now installing windows as low as $329 within 5 to 6 weeks. Great crowd, as we have mentioned here tonight in Lockport, New York. The rain was here this morning. It cleared out for a great night of Thursday night football in Western New York in Section 6. Both cheerleading squads are here as well as Banker takes a snap. Now Irizarry looking to get to the outside, and he does. Cuts in just past the 30. A good 5-yard chunk for the Trojans as they move closer to the red zone again.
One of the key things why this running game is working so well is the patience of the runner. They're either hitting right where they should be up the gut, or they're allowing their outside blocks to develop, and then they're taking their time before making their one cut. This is a very disciplined group, and that's one of the reasons why they're having such great success with the single wing.
Second down and 5 for the Trojans. Banker in the shotgun. The motion man is Irizarry. The handoff is to Sadowski. He pops his way to the outside. It's close to the 25. Still on his feet. And then knocked down after another big run. We do have an injured Spartan. You like to see for a moment the sportsmanship, but we have a Starpoint Spartan down with under 6 minutes left.
Seeing a lot of those lower leg cramps and hamstring and around those knee areas. Hopefully it's just another cramp situation here so no one gets hurt. They just can't afford any more of those major injuries to some of their defensive and offensive linemen.
Play does result in a first down for West Seneca East, but Starpoint has a player named Colin McManus up on his feet, getting help from the athletic trainer here at Starpoint. Starpoint only suiting up roughly 30 players coming into this contest, but it's a good sign to see McManus get up and walking towards the sideline.
Well, him and his brother have been playing that left guard and left tackle position all night or all day long, and they're not the biggest guys on the field, but they've been playing with tremendous heart all night, and I don't think that's going to stop going forward. Coach has a great nucleus of a team here. They're going to win a lot of games.
Clock is running again. 1st and 10 at the Starpoint 24. Banker hesitates out, makes a move, and then gets bottled up. This will be a big loss. And around the 30-yard line, Starpoint defense with a huge stop, and right in the middle of the defensive force was Alex Jurowitz, a 6-foot, 150-pound junior wearing number 10 tonight. There is a flag on the field as well. Still awaiting the call, and going to Starpoint High School tonight. A great environment. But I guess for both teams, Sky, as we head into week 2 for these teams, what are maybe the pluses and minuses from both teams?
Well, I think right now you've got to look at Marino. Coach Marino's got to feel great about what he's done here today. He's come to, this. He's come to this level. He's come to somebody else's home. He's dominated in someone else's home, and they just have to continue being physical throughout the season. Here you have to, in Starpoint, they got to get healthy. They had some big guys on the sideline that could help them out. Hopefully those guys can get healthy real quick. Other than that, I think both teams are very well coached. I think they know their schemes, and for the most part, just the physicality of Marino's entire approach is the difference here tonight.
Offense been ejected.
So an ejection has been called on West Seneca East Isaac Irizarry, who had a few carries on the offensive side of the ball, but Irizarry has been ejected.
Well, he's going to change his last name from Irizarry to I'm sorry, Coach. I didn't mean to get in trouble like that. But, it's, again, you're ahead. These are the mistakes that you don't want to have, because now they're not going to have them, for the first quarter of next game? Or I don't know exactly what the rule is if you're ejected from a game. But, that's a great player. They can't lose him.
So after the penalty, the Trojans moved back. 2nd and 30 on the Starpoint 45. Back to the ground game with Sadowski, who makes his way towards the Starpoint 30-yard line. We'll give credit to Lawton on the stop. A big run with just over 5 minutes left to play.
Again, we're seeing dominant back block on the nose guard. They pull everybody around. The guys that get the football are running the football hard. Where they don't have it, they're blocking for the guys that do. This is a complete offense that you're seeing here today. All 11 guys are playing. All 11 guys are playing to the echo of the whistle. This is one of Marino's best teams that I've seen in a really long time. He's playing like a bigger school,
2nd and 16, a quick handoff.
Look at the edge they get there. Oh, great play. Great play to come off the block and make that open field tackle by number 21. Impressive.
Frank Butita on the stop to stop Eric Johnson. Just over 4 minutes left, and 4th down coming up.
So you're seeing the lead block by number 22. He gets outside. He's following his block, cuts back. That's just a great job coming off the block at number 4 and making a play. Because had he not made that play, that ball would have probably gone for another 10 to 15 yards.
Fourth and 11. Trojans offense on the field at the 25. Banker rolls out, throws it deep. It is caught in the end zone for the touchdown from 25 yards out. Frank Pacitti with the touchdown catch. That's brought to you by Kaleida Health the official health care provider of the Buffalo Bills, DJ Baker, with another big throw.
You know, this is just a dominant second half. The first half was, was about who was making the most mistakes. But now, in the third quarter, the physicality of Coach Marino's offense and this single wing has been the difference maker.
Extra point coming up in just a moment with Joey Molnar. Anthony DiMartino has returned to the ball game. DJ Banker, the holder for Joey Molnar. The kick is up, line drive. Kick is good. West Seneca East with 42 points now, 21 in the first half, 21 in the second. We'll step aside and take another break. This is the Law Office of William Attar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing. And welcome back. Tonight's trophy is designed by Southtowns Trophy. So be sure to stay tuned for our post game as we give the trophy to the winning team. 42-7, West Seneca East in front of Starpoint. 3:32 remaining as Starpoint looking in the huddle. Right in the middle, your old friend Al Cavinaro addressing the team.
Well, he's been in this situation 1,000 times, and the best thing you could do sometimes is just give a kid a good look in the eye and a pat on the back, finish the game, come back, watch the film, make our corrections, and keep getting better as a football team.
Joey Molnar ready to kick. Two men back for Starpoint. Line drive kick. Spartans make the catch. And Starpoint will start this new drive just past their own 30-yard line with 3 minutes and change to go. Once again, tonight's closed captioning is brought to you by Buffalo Fresh Roof. Starpoint starting the new drive. David Chase in the shotgun. Chase takes a snap on the run. And the pass. It will get a good chunk there for the Spartans with Frank Butita. We mentioned Frank's name a lot tonight. There's a lot to be impressed with Butita on both sides of the ball.
And I think that they have a great core of young people, and that's the key. They're young. And, you can see the difference in the size and the scheme is there, the skill is there. It's just got to be about the finish and getting stronger, bigger, faster over the season, and hopefully getting some of those bigger guys healthy.
Chase scrambled and brought down. He is sacked. A big sack from Kyler Montero. Just over 3 minutes left to play. And David is starting his young career. As you can see, older brother Aaron give a little pep talk. And that's really nice to see Aaron helping his younger brother.
Yep. And, you know, when you see guys like Montero, who's just a junior, and he's been dominant on running the football, blocking. He's been dominant in, on playing on defense today. We talked about, the number 0 on Starpoint, but the number 0 on West Seneca East was really a defining factor today.
3rd and 8, Chase takes a snap, looks over the field. The pass is caught. Starpoint with a big play at about the 32-yard line on the receiving end. Brady Crispin with a huge first down, brought to you by Express Windows. Now it's selling windows as low as $329 within 5 to 6 weeks. What a throw.
Yeah, and when he's had time to throw today, he's been as good of a pocket passer as we could expect him to be. He's thrown the ball real nice, right on the seam there. And, earlier in the game, they had 3 or 4 drops like that. Had those have been caught earlier in the game, we might be talking differently right now going into the last minute and a half here.
Chase throws over the middle. The pass is complete. Down the seam and into the end zone for the touchdown. Kyle Coons crosses the end zone from 34 yards out. Another touchdown brought to you by Kaleida Health, the official healthcare provider of the Buffalo Bills. Kyle Coons, a junior, from 34 yards out, 6'2", 180 pounds to his name, making the big play with 1:42 to go. Some nice momentum, a nice positive spark for Starpoint as they head into week 2. As getting ready for the extra point is Jace Steiner. The kick is up, and it is good. Jace Steiner, the senior, we mentioned earlier about his game-winning field goal against Hamburg in overtime last season. It was a career-high 37-yard field goal. And we'll take a look again at the touchdown play. David Chase, able to keep his eyes down the field, looks towards his right, sets his feet, makes the catch. Is Kyle Coons open down the field from 34 yards out. Good form, great spiral, and Coons was ready. One of the young players, one of the newcomers that head coach Jay Bauman is excited about as this season progresses. So 1:42 remaining. West Seneca East in front of Starpoint, 42-14. Scott Pilkey has made his way down to the field for the trophy presentation. I'm Joe Kraus. Thank you again for tuning in. A big thank you to everyone working behind the scenes for making this possible tonight. A new season of the Law Office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing. So Jay Steiner getting ready to kick. Onside kick attempt, but it rolls straight out of bounds just past the 45-yard line of the Trojans with 1:42 left to play. Haven't said his name a whole lot tonight from West Seneca East, but it's due to be noted, Josh Urban. He led the Trojans in tackles last season, wearing number 15 again. Back at outside linebacker, a third-year player. And head coach Jim Marino said they were looking to him to be that guy, to be that strong outside linebacker and presence. One of the many players.
Free kick out of bounds, Starpoint. First down, West Seneca.
Josh Urban, one of the many players that the Trojans have developed over the last 3 seasons. Trojans won 2 games in 2023, then went 4-6 a year ago. Lost in the Chuck Funky Class B Bowl to Iroquois to end their season. And now as they take a knee, they're 100 seconds away from improving to 1-0 in 2025. West Seneca East hosts Cheektowaga next Friday at 7 p.m. Starpoint hits the road to take on the Lewis and Porter Lancers in Youngstown. Both games next Friday at 7 p.m. Head coach Jim Marino giving a handshake to all of his coaches on the sidelines for a job well done. 22nd season at the helm with the Trojans. He was an assistant in 2001 and 02 before he took on the responsibility of head coach. Good core for the Trojans once again with DJ Banker at quarterback. 2 touchdown passes tonight. Another knee down from West Seneca East. Both teams shake their hands. DJ Banker is fired up, and the Trojans move to 1-0 with a 42-14 win over Starpoint. Some positives from the Spartans in tonight's contest. Kyle Coons, the 34-yard score. Keanu Walton with the 2-yard touchdown run. But West Seneca East able to record 42 points, 42-14 the final over Starpoint. We'll step aside and take a short break. This is the Law Office of William Attar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing. And welcome back to Starpoint High School. Our final score, the Law Office of William Attar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing. West Seneca East with a 42-14 win over Starpoint here in Week 1. And let's head downstairs to Scott Pilkey.
We're down here with Coach Marino and the winning West Seneca East team. Coach, it was a great first half, but a better second half. What do you give credit to? Fellas, move out of the way so Coach could get his moment in the sun. Hey, Coach, what was the difference from first half to second half?
I think kind of what we talked about at halftime, just the physicality, and we cleaned up a little bit of those mistakes that we made in the first half, and we really showed our toughness and our work ethic and our effort in the second half.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to give the credit. You got great run game, great defense, but those O-line guys up front and the D-line really set the tempo for you guys today. And now we want to say this, congratulations to Coach Marino and your team for the William Matar Law Office's Thursday Night Light Trophy. Enjoy it, Coach. Back up to you guys.
Thank you very much, Scott. Congratulations to West Seneca East on its season opening 42-14 victory over Starpoint. That concludes our coverage tonight from Starpoint High School, Tudor Stadium in Lockport, New York. Once again, our final score, West Seneca East 42, Starpoint 14. On behalf, and stay tuned for next week. We will be on the road again. Depew takes on Iroquois. That will be next Thursday, September 11th. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. Once again, on behalf of our entire crew, for my color commentator Scott Pilkey and everyone behind the scenes, this is Joe Kraus. We thank you all for tuning in. Our final score, West Seneca East 42, Starpoint 14. A great crowd on hand tonight. So thank you all for tuning in. This is the Law Office of William Matar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing.
All of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful sponsor partners, William Matar, Stellar Roofing, Aesthetic Associates Center, and the University of Buffalo, who through their contributions to the program make these games possible for you viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great sponsor supporters for their contributions to our 2025 Thursday Night Lights telecasts. And we especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support.